Is there an invention on the horizon that can revolutionize how skateboarding works? And if so, what would it be like? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to Rad Rat Video, a channel about skateboarding. I discuss skateboarding in all of its forms, and I like to answer your interesting questions that you send to me. You can do so by going to radratvideo.com, which is what all these people did. First question is from Seven, who says, are there any pro skaters that push mongo? If not, why aren't there any? Will there ever be a pro skater that pushes mongo? Some of the old pros will mongo in switch, but no pro skater pushes regular mongo, and very few do switch, because it's just considered worse. Like, everybody knows it's worse. But and I get a lot of questions about this kind of stuff. People are really concerned with why mongo isn't okay and why they should be trying to change, and they don't want to, and stuff like that. And how do you learn how to not push mongo? Like, we've discussed why it's worse so many times. It's not a big deal. I won't think you're a bad person if you do it, but it's less effective than pushing normal. So will there ever be a pro skater that pushes mongo? I strongly doubt it, but it could be possible if it was like, I don't care what everyone else is doing. I'm going to do things my own way. And they had a really unique but traditionally good style. Like, they didn't do weird tricks. They did or maybe slightly obscure tricks, but on big spots. But they happened to mongo up to it. It could be possible, but I very much doubt it. But I was on the skateboarding subreddit. It was probably a couple months ago at this point, and a guy mongoed up to a picnic table and kickflipped over it or something like that. Something really good, really fast, big gap, good trick. And all the people in the comments were like, oh, was that switch? No, I just mongo. So what? And it was like, I have never seen somebody get that good and still mongo. So it is possible that someone's going to try to do that. Hopefully it doesn't start a new trend and everyone wants to do it. That's the harder way to push, it's the next thing after switch. You might as well do everything suboptimally to improve the difficulty. I might as well push mongo because it's harder. I don't think it's going to happen, and I hope it doesn't happen, but you never know. All right, next question is from Stub. I've been wondering, because I'm about to get a new deck, what's the update on the DKL non-abrasive grip tape? My shoes right now look like they got thrown in a shredder, so I'm wondering if I should switch to non-abrasive grip or not. So I do still greatly enjoy it. I haven't been skating much because of a pretty severe knee injury, and I left my board in the car. Trying not to spoil what it looks like yet. I left my board in the car for months before I finally got it out in the summer, and it did this. It kind of peels up a lot. It's been a problem that they've had a long time, and you have to refile it down. It'll stick, and if I were to file it and kind of mold it to the shape of the board again, it would be okay. But that does happen a lot. So that's the only real downside to it. But the upside of it not damaging your shoes is definitely real. So I would still not caution against it. If it sounds like something that works for you, then go ahead and get it. Just be aware. Don't leave it anywhere too hot. Bring it back in the house when you come home, and you should be fine with that. There is another kind too. It's based out of Europe. I don't remember what it's called, but there are some options at least. So yeah, I still think it's a good way to go. All right. Next is from Lotion Beam, who says, why does it seem that current extreme athletes, skaters and BMX, have to film every single moment of their activities? That's lame. I'm not referring to professionals or parents recording their under 10-year-old children, but that teen that can barely roll, taking 20 minutes to find the right angle for the shot, then attempting to ollie down a 5-stair 1,000 times and never coming close. You're blocking the spot. No one wants to see that unless you seriously injure yourself. Suggestion, if you must film, go to the spot super early. Don't go to school if need be. Well, I do recommend staying in school. I get where you're coming from. I think skateboarding or filming your skating can be very inspirational or very detrimental in different ways. So it can help you try to push further if you're filming. But for me, it ended up being a bad thing because I was always trying to do something that was too hard because it would be a good clip. And I was never spending the time to get good at easier stuff. And as soon as I stopped trying to film stuff, I wouldn't be trying to do that 360 flip to fakie. I would just be fine doing a kickflip to fakie and maybe trying to do it a little bit better and doing something a little bit harder. And then, maybe I would try that tray flip next week or next month. I'm not trying to push it so hard. I'm trying to actually get better and develop my skating. And if I filmed all that, I would just have hours and hours of footage of me doing basic tricks. And that's not fun. So for me, not filming was a big positive. But I get why people film. But it really depends. Like, I wouldn't do it at the skate park. My friend Tony and I would film at the skate park sometimes if there was nobody there. If there was ever anybody there and they were actively skating, we wouldn't. Or at least stay back and be zoomed in or something like that. But it's always annoying to be at the skate park and someone's trying to film and they're doing this line and they landed a trick over here on this hip and then they come around, they drop it over there, then they snake all the rest of us who are trying to skate this ledge here because it's the next thing in his line and his filmers behind him and all that. It can get pretty annoying. If I ever went to the skate parks, I would do it at like 7 a.m. on a Saturday. Like, that's my skate park time. I definitely get why you're saying that. Filming can be helpful, but just don't annoy everyone else on Earth. You see, he's about to break. If you were to film in front of him, you're in trouble. So just be aware that somebody is going to snap on you before too long. All right. Last question is from Ethan, who says, I've been thinking, in many sports, there's often an invention that revolutionizes the sport, whether it's the helmet in football or something as simple as a net instead of a basket in basketball. Do you think that skating will receive this, or is skating such a basic sport only requiring a board with wheels that it will not? Thank you and good luck with your future endeavors. I thought about this for a while, and I think the only way that something could really change skateboarding is not going to be on the board itself. You can tweak the board, you can make it a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, but you're never gonna have like a nose, a tail, and then like east and west tails. You're not gonna really change the skateboard that much. In 20 years from now, all the tricks we can do are going to be possible. All the tricks that people are going to be doing in 20 years are going to be possible on current boards. They might be harder for some reason, but I think that they'll all be there. So it's not going to be on the skateboard itself. The only thing I could think of is some sort of standardized obstacle. Like if you could get a mass-produced foldable thing. I don't know what it would look like exactly. It wouldn't be a kicker, but some kind of cool thing, and it caught on, and everyone was trying to skate this thing. It's like like a curved rail, and you could start stationary and pop up and slide around it without actually moving. Weird example, but just picture something like that. And it's a standard thing that you can all buy. Everyone can go online and buy one. And it becomes the hot thing, and everyone's showing their tricks on this. And it's like on Instagram and TikTok and all that kind of stuff. And everyone's showing off what they can do on their copy of this standard thing. That could be the only thing that I could really imagine would affect things. Because if everyone starts doing this weird curved grind thing, how is that going to affect street skating? Well, people are going to be trying to look for curved things and try to transfer that skill into street. And so that's the only thing that I could think of. There's other ways, having just your board on the carpet. If there could be a sort of obstacle, that you could balance on. They have that kind of thing where you have a tube and you have just the board on and try to keep your balance. But if you could turn that into something, turn that into a game or a sport almost that is very shareable, I could see that being the only thing. And then when people are raised on that, then their actual skating will be different. So yeah, I don't think the skateboard is going to change that much. But I think that's the only real thing, unless the way we share skateboarding changes in a big way. So for the first 30 years of skateboarding, it was all about filming it and recording it and buying it on a tape or a video disc or whatever, a DVD. I know what a video disc is called. And then it became sharing it on Instagram and stuff like that. But if there was like some kind of VR method to share your skating, maybe it's not even an image. Maybe it's, like a holographic thing where you've captured this 3D moment of you doing this trick, and you can see it from different ways, and people can do their own camera stuff. Like in Skate or Session or something like that, you land your trick, and then you can go back and figure out where the camera was. Maybe you could do that in the future. 3D scan this trick you do, and then people can share it in a much different way. That would be a new thing that would affect skateboarding a lot. But I'm not sure if that's entirely possible. I know they can 3D scan like a building, but to 3D scan a trick in motion, I'm not sure. Maybe. So those are the only things that I could think of. If you have better ideas, put them in the comments. If you have better questions, go to radratvideo.com. Not saying that was a bad question, but I'm challenging you to give me your best questions. Go to radratvideo.com and submit them there. You can also submit them on Patreon if you want to sponsor me on there, and you can join on YouTube too to support the channel. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.